Connor, I have one question to start the show, a controversial one that's going to turn half our viewers away.
What I know. What? What could it be?
Who?
My God.
Who do you think likes kids more, the Kudlak or Michael Jackson?
Ooh. Ooh.
And just straight in. Straight fucking in. Let's go. It's the pod, baby. We're back.
50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50%. Cat.
Yo.
Good question.
I don't need an answer.
It's you thrown me straight into it. You thrown me straight into it, you know.
Deep end. Welcome back, guys, to the 50% Doctor Who podcast, the show where we talk about Doctor Who roughly 50% of the time. And in today's episode, we're talking about it 0% of the time because we're talking about the Sarah Jane adventures. Except we will be talking about Doctor Who because there's a bloody trailer, and we'll get into some trailer talk very soon.
Yeah, boy.
Sister, let's go.
Trailer.
We're remote again. Hopefully, it should be for the last time. We should be back in the studio together in person next week. But yeah, bit of the old Zoom. People loving the nostalgic vibes of two boys on Zoom talking about Doctor Who, so we love doing that.
They love it, folks. They love it. They love us. They love us, and they love
My
it.
lovely co-host Connor Hannum. Where can they find us on the social medias?
They can find us at 50 Doctor on Twitter and Instagram, at 50 Doctor Who on TikTok. We have a Ko-fi linked in the Meliption if you want to go and spare us a few bucks. Or we have the thanks button, which it's on. If you touch the thanks button with your finger, it would burn it because it's so hot. It's been used that much. So if you want to contribute to the hotness, the heat, please feel free to donate. All the money goes towards our fund for a roadcaster, which is very exciting. I'm very excited for that, and I know you are too. Aiden,
coming soon.
Yeah, that's all the socials. Yeah, hashtag coming soon. We've been saying that for at least over a year now.
I think it'll make it more fun when we get it, though.
Yeah, it's becoming better. Yeah, well, yeah. I think this year will be the year. I think I can say that. When it might be December 31st, 2024. Yeah. You never know, but it will. Because
we've said that for a few years, but we'll see how we go. Cotter.
Definitely this year.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
We got two big things to talk about here. Okay, the trailer, which we'll spend a bit of time on.
Two.
But briefly, bit of old news. But you have done a live stream talking about it already, but I have not. Oh. Stephen fucking Moffat's back.
How can we forget?
Stephen fucking Moffat is writing Doctor Who again.
Yes, he is.
I honestly, never in a million years would have expected this.
Yeah, and he's been back for about 2 years, he said, and he's just been fibbing and lying. So, yeah, he's back.
Rule one,
baby.
the Moff lies.
He's back. Apparently, episode 4. So, yeah, man, he tried to warn us. The Moff tried to warn us. So yeah, I've already given my spiel about it on the live. What are you thinking, and how you feeling about Stephen being back?
I'm very
baby?
excited. As much as there's a big part of me that's like, if this that the first series, maybe I would have slightly preferred if it was Russell and then all new writers. Do you know what I mean?
That does surprise
me. Either way, Moffat, his era of Doctor Who is my favourite. It's got its flaws, warts and all, but it's my favourite. So seeing my favourite writer back writing for my favourite show is incredible. I know I'd love someone to go back and find out what I said I would do, because I remember making a really wacky statement saying I would do bleep if Moffat returns, because I was in denial. Purely I didn't want to get my hopes up, So whatever it was I'd said, if it is physically achievable, if someone could go back and figure out what I said, then that would be fantastic, and I will... I'll do it. I'll do it to celebrate Moff being back. I'll eat my words. Nom nom.
I agree. I was fairly certain he would come back. I think I said a lot that I don't think it will. I'm almost certain it won't be in season 1, just because I don't think that. Like you said, I don't know if it's like maybe the best idea during season 1, but whatever. I mean, it's highly rumored that it's like mostly just Russell right in season 1, and it's just so funny that Steven's in it too. And I'm like, is this just like one
The
big boys club?
boys.
It's like it's just the
boys.
lads doing it, and it's like, I think again, this is just rumors, but Steven was a rumor. From rumor alone, I think there's one co-written episode with Russell that's not Steven. And I think apart from that, apparently it's just going to be Russell and Stephen Moffat, baby. They're back. The boys are back.
It's starting to feel a bit like where there's smoke, there's fire with Doctor Who at the moment, because we keep getting these wacky rumors. Like, remember when David Tennant was coming back, but it wasn't confirmed, and we were like, what a load of bollocks. Yeah. That will never happen. He will not be the 14th Doctor. And then here we are, 2 years later, and we've had 3 specials with the 14th Doctor played by David Tennant. So... I'm curious to see what other outlandish...
Yeah, I was notoriously said that as well.
Like outlandish rumours come up, and which ones become true, because it is a wacky time we're living in at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. It's funny how he, as Russell said, that he asked Chibnall as well, to come back and do an episode.
I didn't take that as literally as that, because in the statement he says... He said, like, the first person that I phoned after getting the job was Chris Chibnall, and the second person was Stephen Moffat. And I think the Chris Chibnall phone call was more like, hey, Chris, I'm taking over, by the way. Like, handing the baton thing is the vibe that I sort of...
I swear he said something like, and then he ran off to do his book. Did. So I think it was implying that he... was writing something else and he didn't have time. Plus, it's like he just fucking left. But I think it's just Russell. From how I read it, I think it was just Russell being nice and being like, if you ever want to come back, the door is open. Yeah. And can I just say, I'm not opposed to that. I would actually love to see. I'd love to see what Chibnall would do with a shitty episode. I would just love to see that.
Like,
so I'm not.
There'd be a countdown. There'd be like 47 locations. All of a sudden, Shruti would have 8 companions. All this stuff.
Oh yeah. It's what I need. It's what I want, and I hope it. I generally do
put it
want
in my veins.
But it's really cool that it's nice to know we have these kind of like, because. I remember this was in January of 2023 when we saw them shooting Steven's episode. And that was the first time we ever saw Shooty. It was when he was wearing the beanie.
Oh, is that Steven's?
And they're on that kind of like hillside thing. It's highly rumoured that the hilltop one is Stephen Moffat. So, yeah, it's cool that was all going on. And I mean, there were rumours, but there's always rumours. It's just cool that like that all went on and we didn't know that it was Steven behind the scenes. So yeah, it's really I'm excited. It's just so weird to hear that he's back and he's been back for a while. It's just I'm like, what year is it? I'm Jumanji right now. What year is it?
Well,
it's nuts,
folks. In about 10 minutes, we will be talking about Warriors of the Kudlak, which is Sarah Jane Adventures, which we like to do once a month. Although we might double up and do 2. This month or next month, so that we can finish season 1 by the time season 1 of Doctor Who comes out.
Oh, season when season 1 of Doctor Who comes out.
So that works as a nice little segue there. Connor, new trailer dropped. Oh my god, you went live and watched it. I've seen a bit of your reaction, but not enough to dive into it. And we had a brief chat on Messenger about it yesterday. And it is slightly old news now, so maybe we don't need to go too deep into it. But I still think it's worth us having a good old chinwag about this new bloody trailer. Connor, whilst I bring up the exposure on my camera, can you tell me what filming in sunset actually makes this so difficult? Can you tell me what you think of the Doctor Who Season 1 Disney Plus trailer?
Well, Aidan Green, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I think this is it's what we needed, folks. It's what we needed, and I love it. I think it's great. And I would be happy if we leave it there. Like, I'm not sure if we're going to get another one, but like, I think that gave us like enough. I'm filming, Mum.
Hi, Mum.
Is that Mum? Oh, she's letting my cat in. I see. Thanks, Mum.
Pussy alert.
My cat Pepper is now in the vicinity, folks. No, I'm happy if they leave it at that. To be completely real, because I don't even think it didn't show that much. I think it shows enough. And come on, it's like it's just super cool, you know. It's just super cool. See, this is exactly what I knew would happen. Pepper cameo on the pod. 3 days later, after the trailer came out, we've got 4.6 million views on Disney Plus. And on the it's so funny, on the Doctor Who channel, it's only got 577,000. But that's 5 million views. And that's just on YouTube alone from 2 different channels. And I just think, I don't know about you, but I've never seen any Doctor Who trailer get anything like that view-wise. So that gets me excited, because I do want Doctor Who to be a massive phenomenon. I was losing hope a little bit, and that kind of did get me going. But what did you think?
Firstly, I want to say that trailer's got almost as many views as these Sarah Jane Adventures reviews get. Secondly, I want to say...
5 million?
I watched the trailer first. So it came out... Actually, so a lot of why I'm shooting in the studio, we got a lot of family over at the moment. My sister got married on the weekend. And...
congratulations.
Congrats to my sister and her lovely husband. They're great. Woohoo! But yeah, it was wedding night that trailer came out, and it was pretty much, I lied in bed. You know, I got home from the wedding about 12:30, as you do with weddings, or maybe about 1. Whipped up my phone, and I sort of went, I think that trailer will come out sometime in the next 15 minutes. Just looking at when the trailer Tomorrow Post came out, it was like 23 hours ago. So I was like, I think we can see this trailer sometime soon. So stayed awake a little bit longer, and then bang, trailer came out. Watch the trailer. I think the trailer is really damn good. I think what it shows is really good. I think the trailer does a really good job at selling Doctor Who to new audiences. Like it hits all those beats, both like visually, but with little bits of dialogue from Church of Ruby Road and from stuff to come, which is really great. I've got 2 minor like nitpicks with it, and they are nitpicks. Is that just a couple of the visuals looks a little grey, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. I'll be fine. Like I'll get over it. But that's like 5% of the visuals. 95% of them looked beautiful. Like all that singing in the rain stuff looks dope. Every time I see something from this musical episode, I absolutely froth from my mouth, mate. You don't understand. Like I'm choking with how much froth is coming out of my mouth at the moment. And then my other nitpick would purely be that I thought the trailer, whilst it didn't do a good job at hitting all the points, just structurally, I felt like the trailer maybe bit off slightly too much more than it could chew, because it was like every 15 seconds there was like a drastic change in tone of what the trailer was trying to talk about, and right. That by the time it got to like the whole look after Ruby, this is the future we're trying to avoid, I was like, oh, like you've sold me already. Like it wasn't giving away too much, it just I think was trying to tell too much in 2 minutes, you know. But that's just more of a...
That's what I mean by... Yeah, that's what I mean by I think I'll be happy if this is all we get. Because we're not far away from it all. Like, somehow, literally, fucking Monday is April. I'm not going to be that guy saying time's going faster, but time is going faster. And, you know, come on. It's like May is just around the corner. I don't know if I need another trailer. I'm happy with what we got. I completely agree with your... you know, with what you've got to say. Maybe I think I went into the trailer a little bit. Well, I think you've been a little bit more excited for season 1 than I have. Maybe I'm wrong, so but I've been a bit. I've just been a bit. I don't know, like, you know, I'm like, I don't know if I'm that keen, and I think it just kind of surprised me. You know, when you go in with low expectations for stuff, and then you get like really hyped when maybe it isn't as like great as other people think it is, but you think it's amazing. That's kind of how I felt. But yeah, I'm excited, and those views get me going, man. I'm very glad people seem to be maybe a bit curious to see what Doctor Who's all about, and I think it's going to do a great job. I've definitely warmed up to the 2 episode premiere, and I gotta say, as a guy who doesn't like musical episodes, that musical episode to me, it looks great. Like, I was worried it would look really cheesy and cheap. It doesn't. It looks great, and I can't deny it. And I think I might actually really enjoy it. So
very
that's
excited.
got
I'm
me
so
keen.
excited for that musical episode. I think, last week I was sort of saying, I was making that Last of Us analogy where sometimes the 2-episode premiere is a good thing to sell the concept a bit more. And by the looks of it, there's that deep moment in the trailer where they look over destroyed London, which is really cool. And you see Shooty and Amelia obviously in their episode 2 period costumes. So makes me think that episode 2 sort of ends with a big plot thing of, this is what we're going to try to avoid this season. There's a big threat coming to Earth, and this is what it could become. So I feel like the end of episode 2 sells the main series arc, and that's maybe why they wanted to do a 2-episode premiere. So I'm really on board with it. More Doctor Who's a good thing, and I can't believe I'm going to be able to watch it live.
Yeah, I actually agree with what you said. I think that my fear was episode 2 wouldn't necessarily have that many like stakes, and it's like I was worried that it would just be like, oh, why didn't you just air this next week? But again, from seeing that footage, I think I agree, and it looks like episode 2 is going to be a really good mix of like dark and fun almost. And that I'm very keen for. And Jinx Monsoon looks fucking great. I think she's gonna be amazing. And I'm just super keen to see what they're gonna do with like her as like a villain. It just I don't know. I'm just super keen. One little thing to add quickly though, just one thing I haven't heard anyone say on Twitter or anywhere. We see David Tennant in like a
I've seen
like
that
a
all
hologram
over
form. No. No,
okay, I was going to say, I was like, that's all I've seen on Twitter.
No, Aiden, that's in the trailer. No. What I'm saying is, we see him in hologram form, and it's highly suggested that it's just going to be like flipping through the faces and stuff. And we've seen that face they show for David Tennant is actually taken from the Next Doctor, another episode written by Russell. But also, the Next Doctor was the first time they ever showed previous incarnations. They showed the classic Doctors and stuff, and they showed the old faces. So I think that's a really cool. I think it must be intentional because it's a really cool callback. And actually, that face he's pulling, it's from that scene where he's looking at all the holograms. So it's kind of like a fourth wall break and a fourth wall break. It's like I just thought that was really cool. So they've taken from that to show. Again, I don't think David Tennant's going to start talking as a head. I think they just chucked him in the trailer because he's a well-known face, and they're obsessed with David Tennant. What can I say, folks?
But
yeah, very keen. It looks great.
Other
very
notable
excited.
things in the trailer: Amelia Gibson in glasses. Enough said. We've also got Bonnie Langford back, which we've seen. It's the same sequence we've seen before, but it's still cool to see it. And a big thing for me is I'm really liking this supernatural thing, and I know this is hit and miss for everyone. I know some people prefer the Doctor Who to be a little bit more sci-fi than supernatural, but I love that almost like the gimmick of this season, or maybe the next couple of seasons, is almost like mythology, and it all started with the Toymaker in the 60th. And his legions are coming, and Unit. There's a line from Kate in the trailer, I think, where she says things are becoming more and more supernatural, or something like that. And with seeing, sorry, I'm actually quite sick, and some snot just came out of my nose when I breathed. Then I'm really fucking sorry. That's so gross
okay.
for people watching the video.
That's beautiful. That's okay. You're doing your best, Aaron.
And like Jinx Monsoon looks all supernatural. Like it's all a lot more supernatural than sci-fi, and for like a couple seasons, I'm on board with that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that I think that we're going for a bit of a spooky vibe, but I ain't against that at all. Do you think it's gonna be 7 and 8 as a 2-part final? I reckon
it's got to be. Yeah, Russ loves a 2-part final, and I think we've had 3 single part finales in Doctor Who history, in New Who history, and 2 of them at least are is a battle for the worst episode of Doctor Who of all time quite often in people's books. So I think we just don't do that again. Let's not do that again, folks.
Yeah, it's cool. You actually get to see very, very briefly, but you get to see Lenny Rush and Yasmin Finney very quickly in like one of the unit scenes. Oh, man, can I just say something? Shooty in a leather jacket and a white shirt. That man can do no wrong. Come on. He looks great. He really does. I love that look, man. I'm like, yo, what a fucking badass.
What a
like,
baddie.
He's so cool. I'm very keen to see what this final is about, and I think if I could pick an episode I'm most excited for, it would be the Slug episode.
Oh, really?
Which, from what we can see, I think there's only one shot of it in this trailer.
There's
the
girl that looks like Daphne from Scooby-Doo, I think is from the Slug episode.
Yeah. Yes, I'm extremely excited for the Slug episode.
I think I'm most keen for episode 2, man.
Just because I'm curious.
But the thing is, though, and
I get that.
I don't know if people know more than me online at the moment, but like I am genuinely really switched off these days. So I got quite a bit of a whiff of some stuff for this season. Mainly just stuff about it being a musical episode. I saw some things of them shooting at Abbey Road and a couple of set pics here and there. But about halfway through this season was when I sort of had enough and kind of started muting stuff online. So there really is so much stuff that I don't know about this season. I think I know like that 2's a musical, 4 I think is the one with the slug, and 6 is the Regency one.
I thought 4 was Stephen.
I heard 3 was Stephen, but also who cares? We'll find out in a month. You know.
Yeah, I know. Bridgerton is episode
6. Yeah, they said
6.
But like other than that, it's like I don't know anything plot
Bridgerton.
wise or anything like that. So I'm
me either. I don't think there is much,
keen.
which is good. So, yeah, I mean, the 60th was like a fucking shit show for leaks. The entire thing leaked. So, and by the way, fucking months in advance. So, yeah, I'm really glad that nothing seems to be out. I try to avoid that shit as well. Sometimes you can't, but it just being on like Twitter and stuff. But yeah, I haven't seen anything, which is really good. I want people to go into it blind, and yeah, I think it looks really good. I'm definitely a lot more excited for it now than I was, which is what trailers should do, and it did its job. And yeah, I'm actually really keen. I'm very keen to get reviewing it and watching it, and we can watch it on a Saturday morning when we're in bed with a nice cocoa. I'm very keen. Very, very keen.
We'll be previewing the episodes midweek, and we'll be reviewing them pretty much as soon as they drop.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Obviously, shortly after because we have to record.
Aiden.
But yeah, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be fucking amazing,
Absolutely.
baby. Let's go.
All right.
I'm so keen.
Connor, hit me with some Sarah Jane Adventures tunes.
Warriors
of the Kudlak is the third serial of the first series of the British science fiction television series The Sarah Jane Adventures.
You
fucked it up,
Sarah
Connor.
Jane Adventures.
It first aired in 2 weekly parts on
folks.
the CBBC channel on the 15th and 22nd of October 2007. Sarah Jane investigates the disappearance of teenager Lance Metcalf 3 days ago. She discovers the day he disappeared, there was an unexpected but brief storm. And these kids are all, I'm just going to cut a long story short here with this synopsis. These kids are all disappearing from the laser tag place, the place where Luke and Clyde are investigating. So we sort of get like a dual storyline with Luke and Clyde investigating. Just getting caught in the laser tag web whilst Maria and Sarah Jane are doing all the cool bad bitch investigating stuff, which is awesome to see. I think I'd seen part 2 of this before, but not part 1. But I also could have not seen either of them before. So yeah, I don't really know.
Okay. Interesting.
But that being said, I had no
Okay.
idea what to expect going into it. It's like, this is the fun thing about this Sarah Jane stuff is that it's like the opposite. Because usually with like Classic Who, it's you watching it for the first time and me being like, yeah, I already have an opinion on this episode, but you know, I'll watch it again and figure it out. But then with this, it's sort of like with Sarah Jane, it's like you've seen the first few seasons and I've not seen most of the episodes, so it's like, yeah, it's like a little flip flop.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's always a bit of a delight to jump back into Sarah Jane Adventures at the beginning of the month, end of the month for us watching it. But it's really fun, and it's like it's a good. I think it's a good break from Classic Who, just quietly.
You liked Warriors of the Kudlak in the past, didn't you? As a kid, you were into it.
One of my favorite episodes, for sure. Absolutely loved it. One of my go-tos.
Well, yeah, it is written by the one and the only Phil Gladwin, who I don't know, and directed by Charles Martin.
Yeah.
So sort of some fresh faces for Doctor Who with these two cats. And yeah, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Please, who goes first? You go first, I go first.
Right,
you go first. All good.
Warriors of the Kudlak.
Let's go.
I watched this in one sitting. And, oh boy, when Sarah Jane is like, let's go and give you a high energy episode, give everyone a lot of shit to do, oh boy, Sarah Jane delivers. And this is another banger, not quite on the same level as Revenge of the Slitheen for mine, but I think it's still really fun. I love taking them off world for the first time. I was sort of waiting for Sarah Jane to do that. I didn't realize they were going to do that in season 1. So it was cool to see the gang go off world, which was really cool.
The gang goes off world.
What do you think on rewatch?
This is fantastic, folks. It's how I remembered it. There's just something about this story that will always have a good place in my heart. It's just a fun laser tag episode with a really good storyline, I think, a really good plot. Fun villain, interesting premise, a good mystery, uses all the characters really well, and you know, I think it gives like Maria and Sarah Jane time together. It gives Luke and Clyde time together. Just the whole laser tag aspect. Kids love laser tag.
I love.
Okay,
I'm an adult and I love laser tag. What are you gonna do about it?
I hate to say it, but I was kind of like, I kind of want to play some laser tag, and I am 25. I'm 26 this year. I would be a bit worried that maybe some people would be, probably mums at the laser tag place would be wondering why a grown man is playing laser tag. But you know, that's fine. I'll take the latest booking and play some laser tag. I used to be quite good at it. Let's just say that. I used to be quite good at it. Okay, at the old dart light. Okay?
I was never good at it, but I get hot and sweaty playing it and have a good old time.
You do get hot and sweaty playing it. It's fun. It used to be like, back when I was at school, I'm not even kidding you, like everyone had their parties at like laser tag, this laser
you
tag
weren't
place.
Cool if you didn't do it.
And I remember, yeah, I had one of my parties though, and I'm telling you right now, there was one kid in my class who I didn't like, but he invited me to his party, and it was at laser tag, and I went purely because I wanted to play laser tag, not because I liked the kid. I'm sorry, I
thought you were going to say that you went so that you could fuck this kid up, so you'd start playing with him and you'd kick him in the shins. You'd say, get him, kick him, shoot him in the dark.
I didn't want to say it, but he may have come last. Okay, and that had nothing to do with me.
Someone's got to come last.
I was actually quite good at it. Someone's got to come last.
So one thing that's always good about a Sarah Jane Adventures plot is they're so easy to talk about, because it's literally just like, you know, they spent 10 minutes of the episode trying to figure out why there was some, you know, lightning and stuff in the sky, and it turns out because it was teleport, which, by the way, is so fun for Russell to use that, because that's what he uses for, like, Dune, things like that. It's like all these freak weather events. It's like a consistent thing for him in his time running the Hooniverse. And And yeah, so plot is literally they're investigating that the boys Clyde and Luke, who have great chemistry, get captured by the most camp, incredible bloody villain ever. I think when Sarah Jane makes really like campy, hammed up performances for their villains, it is by far at its best. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to figure out who it is. Who is the guy that plays this camp villain? But here we go. It is Chuk Sibitan, who plays Mark Grantham, who you may recognize from The Waters of Mars.
Waters of Mars. Yeah, I was going to say that. Shit, you didn't know fucking... He's in Andor as well.
Oh, he is too, isn't he? I knew, like, when I was watching him, I was like, I recognize this fucker, but I can't figure out where from. But yeah, he's the most...
Yeah, he's in
hammed up villain. Sarah Jane, the perfect formula of Sarah Jane is give the kids some stuff to do. Good. Ham up a human villain and ham up an alien villain. And it's like a formula that just cannot go wrong. It's the perfect cake. I want to eat it.
I totally agree. It's so fucking funny. Like this owner of the laser tag, it's so hammed up, but it's done really well, and it's really good. And then it's like Mr. Kudlak, who is the alien baddie, who is also
Emphasis on baddie.
It's like the owner's taking orders from Kudlak. Yeah, and then it's Kudlak getting orders from Mistress, who's actually the baddie.
Yeah, she
is. And I'm like, how can I not have fun watching this? This is just so good. Like I mean it obviously I have a nostalgia aspect. I'm being taken back to my childhood. But just fun. And that design of Mr. Kudlak, which we do see show up in Pandora Opens for all you eagle eye viewers.
Yeah.
I do even recall when we were reviewing Pandora Opens Big Bang in fucking God knows what year, probably 2021 or something. I remember, 2022 probably. But yeah, I remember saying to you, there's a character from Sarah Jane Adventures in there. And I said, when we get there, I'll remind you. And now here we are. Yeah, so this costume basically was used in the Pandora Opens, and it's a beautiful costume. It looks great. And consider you reminded. Yeah, it's just such a fun episode that doesn't take itself too seriously. The whole idea of them taking the kids and teleporting them up to, we'll fucking call it Satellite 5 for shits and gigs. And then like just because they're like good at playing laser, it's actually like a really good. I'd love to know who came up with the idea, if it was the writer or Russell, because it's such a great idea. It's really good.
Yeah, I as the plot goes on, I got like more and more like invested into it. So as the boys teleport away, there's all of a sudden that added threat of like, now we really need to find out where these kids are going because the boys are gone. Which I really like. And it's really great seeing Sarah, and I always go to call her Yasmin, but I know her name is Maria, played by Yasmin Page. That Maria and Sarah Jane, they're forming a great like journalistic relationship as they investigate shit together. And so it's great to see that really fleshed out more and more in here. And eventually, the boys are on the ship, they break out. I love the stompy boys, the villains, the troopers that just walk around. They can't really run. They just sort of stomp around the speed walk.
They're slabs from
I thought they looked a little bit different, but
they're from, if Wikipedia isn't, I had a little bit of sticky beak on Wikipedia before I had a little bit of time. And I was like, yeah, someone's going to do some research around here. And I saw that apparently there's slabs, which we saw in Smith and Jones. So, oh God.
Mad. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's, it must be, I don't know.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I like them. They're a good just little like makeshift threat to shoot at them as they run around the ships. to eventually get reunited with Sarah Jane and fucking once again I'm gonna call her. No, she is Maria. I keep getting Maria and Yasmin the wrong way around. God damn.
It's Maria.
I keep getting Maria and no. Okay, so Maria and Sarah, they get talking to old mate Mark Grantham, who teleports them to the ship for them, where they reunite with the boys, and they find out the ultimate truth is that these kids were being sort of shipped away to fight in a battle that ended a decade ago.
Brilliant.
And it's all because there's
Absolutely
a fucking
brilliant.
AI version
Mistress.
of Mr. Kudlak. There's AI Kudlak going around.
It's AI. It's an AI
Michael
mistress
Jackson.
who is she's a bit AI Michael Jackson, who's a bit of a narc and enjoys war. And look, was it a bit cheesy that Luke just randomly like did this for 2 seconds and found out that it was all a fucking big lie? Sure, but he's the boy genius. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Is it a bit silly? Sure. Did kids give a fuck? No, they're just eating Cheerios watching this shit. They don't care. And neither did I. I was eating fucking Wheat Bix.
So was I. As a 25-year-old man, I was sat down in my Wheat Bix watching Sarah Jane Adventures of the Coffee.
Well, it was like it's like the mini ones that are made out of honey. Oh, so good. It's so good. They're actually orgasmic. If you have them, go get them. We're sponsored by Wheat Bix.
I had, like I said, I got a lot of family over at the moment. And they're like, oh, so what episode? Because a few of them, I mean, they're all English, so they all know Doctor Who and that. And they're like, so what episode are you doing today for your podcast? And I was like, oh, just nothing, doesn't matter. We're not doing it. Don't worry about it. Because I didn't have it in me to say we're reviewing the Sarah Jane Adventures for 60 minutes.
It's a kids show, but so is Doctor Who. And I guess we'll have to just live with that we have a kids TV show podcast. I think I've come to terms with that.
Once again, Connor, I must say, someone's got to do it.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do it, but we're just one of many. Can I make a joke about Maria? Maria Jackson be, or should I say Yasmin Page be like Millie Gibson, because I'm really mad they're only staying for one season, because I love their dynamic and it sucks.
Yeah.
And I guess less is more. And I guess it's better to... It's like, if Clara left in season 7, would people hate her as much as they do now? And I don't hate Clara, for the record, but people do.
I think Maria gets better.
But it's like maybe if you
every episode.
I agree, but no one. But Luke and Clyde stay, and no one loves them. So yeah, it sucks. It's and I know that fuck, why do Rani's really great. But I have more of a connection to Maria. Rani kind of came on when I not for any reason, just it was more hard to watch. I think YouTube were cracking more down on their like copyright stuff, so I just couldn't watch it. That's how I would watch Sarah Jane Adventures through YouTube. So I have more of a connection to Maria, but yeah, no, it's certainly. Oh, do you know what sucked? My boy, fucking shit. We're so bad at names. Clive, is it not Clive? Adam. Jesus, Aiden, we fucking suck. Adam Jackson? No, it's Alan. Alan Jackson. Yeah, our boy Alan Jackson, wasn't it? That annoyed me. I'm like, bro, where's my boy Alan? Well, it doesn't need to be in every
episode. This one was a very kid-centered episode, letting the kids run amok on spaceships and shit.
Aiden. Yes, he does.
Yeah,
how dare you say that? Oh, do you know what bit I found fucking hilarious as a kid, and still love to now is the welcome to the holds up the fist. That woman who's the cashier has to say the same line every time. And it's a great gag. It's like when Sarah Jane and Maria run off, you see her like starting it again with the next people, like welcome to the, and it just cuts. I love that
There's
bit as a kid.
loads to love
that was my favorite.
in this serial. It just does not take itself too seriously at all. It's good fun. I think all the kid performances, like even outside of our mob, all the kid performances I think are really solid. Which is great to see. I think Luke and I mean Clyde was solidified as Clyde from day one. But like I said, Luke and Maria get better every day. I'm yet to sort of feel like we get a full Sarah Jane episode yet. She's kind of like the Doctor in OG Doctor Who so far, where we don't quite know. We've not seen an awful lot of Sarah Jane yet, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think she's done enough to keep herself relevant and have the title of the show, and she's the glue that keeps them together. But I'm sort of waiting for that big Sarah Jane focused one, and I'm very aware that we're probably going to get that next week or next month when we do whatever happened to Sarah Jane.
Sarah who?
Sarah Lynn.
By the way, I love how I did that whole bit and you didn't mention, like, you didn't bring up once what I was doing.
Oh, well, I thought Connor was picking up a cord to put something on charge, his computer on charge or something.
I had to plug my phone in because it's going to go out of charge. I meant to do it before. Sometimes when I do the live streams, I forget to do it. And, like, it cooks my phone battery and it's gone. And I wouldn't be able to hear Aiden's beautiful voice.
So if you're just on...
So if you're watching the video, you got to see me crawl and grab it. Fun stuff.
Yeah, man. But like once again with this one, I don't know how much more there is to say other than it's just fun. Like the thing is with this being a kids show, there's not an awful lot to necessarily dissect and dissect. I should not be talking about that about a kids show. Punish me. Slap me on the wrist. Yeah, like there wasn't like a massive thematic core to this one. I thought like maybe there's some kind of commentary there about war and AI. And how you shouldn't use that or something like that. But I think I'm reaching there. And it doesn't need to be. It's a kid's show. And as long as it entertains, is heartfelt, and works well, I'm on board with it. Like this one for me was like... I think like a chocolate cake is a bad analogy. But, I'm going to run with it. Chocolate. Like I said, it's got all the perfect ingredients for the Sarah Jane cake in there with how it plays with it. It's like silly villains, giving all the characters enough to do. Not taking itself too seriously, having a good alien threat, perfect cake. And for me, this one in particular was very much like I ate it and I forgot I ate it. It was like a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. So like
lime on the hips.
I watched it and I have not really thought about it since watching it, which isn't a bad thing because I really enjoyed watching it at the time. And sometimes TV can just be like that, You don't have to have thought-provoking conversations with yourself about it like I do with After Sun.
Oh my god. Can I just say this is why the poor set design people are like one of the most thankless jobs in the industry. Yeah. It literally says here, Lance has posters from DVDs featured in Doctor Who's episode Blink in his room, as seen when Sarah Jane meets his mother. So all those fucking 13 DVDs or whatever it was. Some of those DVDs were on the wall as posters. That is so great, and no one would notice that. Well, I guess someone did. So put it on
does
there.
Look like
But God, that is so good.
This came out late 2007, and Blink was early 2007. So it was probably that it was easy for them to do that, which is all good. On that like production design thing, it is so funny like seeing them do these workarounds for kids shows, and quite often you can tell them like juggling just like a limited amount of locations at once just to fit under the budget and do something so big under a budget. And one that I noticed in particular was there was a white room, and it was just white walls, which just looks boring and gross. And in modern day TV, you would never just get a plain white room for an office. There's always got to be something to make it more interesting, like with production design. And this is how like basic this shit goes, is that in like one of my student short films, we were shooting in just a white office, and we're like, what can we do? Oh, let's do like the shadows of vignette blinds. So like, how you get those black lines on the wall when you have blinds and there's daylight coming from outside. Yeah. And that's exactly what I did in this white room that they were shooting in for a few minutes in this episode. And I was like, that is like just the most like scavenger. Let's just do what we can to make this be a little bit more interesting visually. And that's one thing I love about this like mid 2000s TV is it's, you know, as much as I love how classy and huge new TV is, there's something to be said about TV of the day that just got by, you know.
Absolutely, dude. Sarah Jane Adventures didn't have the budget from Disney.
No.
Hell no. You know, it was like it was just doing what it could, and I can respect it. And you know what? Sometimes I feel like Russell was just doing the show out of the goodness of his ball sack, and I really appreciate that. And you know, I think it's great, and I have so much fun watching Sarah Jane Adventures once a month. I almost wish I could binge it, and if I could, folks, I would.
The moment that theme
to be
kicks
completely
in,
frank with you all.
Yeah. Let's fucking go.
I know I say this every week. Well, every month I should say. Well, I actually didn't do it for Eye of the Gorgon, but I know for a fact that like from here on out, it's just bangers. IMO, in my opinion, but it for a first series, like for me, we're 2 for 2.
Yeah,
I think 2 are just fine with Eye of the Gorgon and Enemy of the Bane or Invasion of the Bane, whatever the fuck it is, and yeah, but 2 great episodes, and I know the rest of the season's a banger. I'm willing to put my my house on it, which I don't have legal responsibility for, but I'm sure I can arrange something. I reckon you'll really enjoy the rest of the series. I'm willing to bet my house on it.
Well, we'll see as we go through.
I hope you know that. Yeah, we'll see if I'm homeless in a few months.
We're going to give our reviews
for my sake,
for
like
Laser Tag Warriors of the Kudlak very soon. Our final rating, sorry.
Ratings
for it.
Yeah.
But before then, Connor, next week, what are we doing?
Well, it depends, Aiden. It depends if your series
15.
I'm going to guess 15.
15. Yeah, season 15 Blu-ray.
Okay, that was a good guess. I know Ian Levine's got his, so thank God. But Aiden hasn't, and I'm sorry, Ian, but if it was between you and him getting it first, I would pick my boy Aiden every time.
Yeah.
So if Aiden does get his delivered from Rare Waves, friend of the show, we'll be reviewing an episode that I've wanted to review for a very, very long time, which is Horror of Fang Rock.
Yeah. So we sort of said
starring Leela, I think.
Tom Baker and Leela, yeah. So yes. Whilst we've said for most of our classic reviews going forward, we will be going season by season with them, and I know we've got season 2 coming up. We did also say a while ago that when collection sets come out, we might do like a special episode of the pod just looking at that, like the highlight episode of that season. So in particular with this one, Horror of Fang Rock is one that I've been wanting to watch for years, and Connor's been stoked to watch as well for a long time. So I'm keen to get into that. Hopefully my Blu-ray comes in time. If not, we'll do some kind of ranking or something like that. But get watching the Horror of Fang Rock if you haven't already, folks. Connor!
Yeah, and I do want to say as well, if we are going to do Horror of Fang Rock, then there will be a really fun little bonus video to go along with it. That will be a bit of a companion piece to the review. I'll leave it at that.
Might take a few months to come out knowing Connor's release schedule, but it's okay. I'm teasing you.
You know the reason why I didn't. I'm teasing you. You know the reason why the last one takes so long. You little fucker.
I'm poking you.
You are. You'll see, Aiden. You'll see. I'll film that shit and it'll be out within hours. Hours.
Oh
you hear me? Hours.
Hours. That's too quick.
Yeah. How about that?
Not ready for that.
Well, not with me, mate. I'm a great editor.
God damn. All right, Connor. Warriors of the Kudlak. What do you want to give it out of 10?
Yeah. 8.
Giving it an 8? Fair. I'm going to give it a 7.5 for me. It's not quite in that 8 territory. Because like I said, a lot of fun. Didn't stick with me necessarily afterwards, but I had a lot of fun watching it. So 7.5 is a worthy score for mine, I think.
I love that.
Are you happy with that score?
Congratulations, Aiden. You're sure. Whatever, man. I'm used to disappointment around here.
Oh no.
No, it's great. It's I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. I mean, once we hit season 3 territory, this is when you come in and start saying to me, Connor, you're going to be enjoying this episode and all that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know I've watched a lot of season 3. I think season 4 is the one that I watched every episode of back in the day. So that's the one where I might be able to give you a bit of guidance, but we'll see. Because even those ones, I think I've only watched once. So we'll see how we go.
Give me guidance, Aiden. Give me guidance.
Amen, sister. Guys, hopefully last Zoom for a while. But we had a bit of fun, bit of delays this week with it, but I think it turned out okay. We have our fun. And Sarah Jane.
That we do.
Sarah Jane is a good old show to watch. So if you're not watching it along with us, I really recommend it because it is fun to go and revisit or to watch for the first time. Excuse me. Sorry, this sickness is so bad.
Oh no, Aiden, when did you start getting sick? Is this a today thing or?
No, a few days ago. It sort of like crept up, and then today it sort of peaked a bit. So I went to the chemist.
But you weren't sick at the wedding, were you?
No. After the wedding. Thanks for watching, guys. Back to normal next week in the studio. So no dodgy connections. We'll just be having a good old time there. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor, on TikTok at 50Doctor and subscribe if you haven't already. I've been Aiden.
I've been Connor.
And
thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for hopefully the Horror of Fang Rock.
Hopefully, I think it'll happen.
Video.
People in Australia land. I've seen them. I've seen they've got them. So I think it'll happen. All right.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. I got BBC iPlayer, baby.
Oh, what?
It's saying
oh shit! I was gonna count
shit
because it's hard for you to judge my my gasp as I swell up to start singing the song when we're remote. So I was gonna count down for you, but
that's okay. You can count down.
Okay. It's sorry. Countdown.
I said countdown.
It's a mess.
Oh god.
You count down.
A 1, a 2. Let's get
It's
Aiden and Connor's podcast.
We're doing
Doctor Who reviews.
Doing
Doctor Who reviews. Cheers. Bye.